Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Abductions. On this segment, we are diving into the CIA files that were released. We had a chance to look at the first 3 files. Kind of as I expected, there really wasn't too terribly much in there because a lot of it was redacted. And funny enough, the government really likes their black markers. So in the first PDF file C0551562, it was in April 26th of 1976. The first document was 3 pages long, and in that one they asked the doctor if there was any UFO programs running at the time, and he came to the conclusion that there was none. And so if he found any, they were going to ask him to, or they asked him to get back to whoever they were, because that has also been redacted. And that's basically the first 3 pages of that PDF file C0551562. So I looked into seeing if Project Blue Book was still in operations at the time, but Project Blue Book started in 1952 and was kind of asked to stop at 1969. It was officially closed in 1970. So they were definitely not in operation at the time. And then Project Sign and Project Grudge was also not going at that moment. So Project Sign was definitely not one that was in that, because they started in 1947 and ended in 1949, so basically the time of the Roswell incident, which we'll have to look into that a little bit more at a later point to see what the connections with that was. Project Grudge was from February 1949 to December 1949, and they did kind of do a little bit until 51, but that was basically another short project. So on the second CIA file, which was PDF C0551564, so on the second PDF file, they talked a lot about the ORD, which stands for Office of Research and Development, which is kind of the conclusion we came to by searching in the military kind of abbreviations for what they use, and we found that in the EPA.gov, which if you wanted to find that for yourself, just go to EPA.gov and you can find it there as well. Other than that, a lot of the second PDF file was redacted and had like a lot of the sentences just marked out, so there really wasn't too much information in that one. Which brings us to the third one and the last one that we've researched for this week's episode, which is C0551565. So this one was dated on April 9th, 1976, and the source's full name was actually completely redacted. But he was talking about some sort of material that is confidential that, again, a lot of it was redacted as well, and this file was only another single page file. But it did mention in there that, so the source seeked guidance from CIA's UFO experts on the material that he wanted to remain classified, and then 2 complete sentences were completely redacted in this. So we did some research into the closest UFO phenomenon or anything that happened around that time, and the closest one was the 1975 Travis Walton abduction, which they may have been talking about this, but for it to be kind of a year later is a little interesting, but it's hard to say. But other than that, there was really nothing else that happened around that time. But we do plan to talk about Fire in the Skies, and then also add in the Travis Walton case and theories behind it at that time as well. So to conclude the first episode in the CIA release forms, I'll have to say I was kind of not surprised with what I saw, but also there was a lot of interesting things that just make you want to wonder more or question more about why they redacted so much. What are they essentially hiding or mistaked? Who knows? But I look forward to looking into more of these, and maybe they'll get more intense as you go, or they might just be a bunch of blacked out papers. This concludes the first episode of the CIA's document disclosure. If you want to see more about weekly abductions, click the link over here. And if you want to see more Culz Paranormal, click the link over here. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and turn that notification bell from personalized to all, so you're notified on all of our videos. And have a good night.